In this video of the Historic Ordnance series, we're going to look at the Chinese Type 41 metallic anti-tank mine. This mine is a copy of the Soviet TM-41. How this mine came about is reportedly the late 1940s, early 1950s. The Soviet government gave a copy of the blueprints to the Chinese government. The Chinese government then started cranking these mines out and designated them as the Type 41. They are pretty much an exact copy of the Soviet TM-41. So when they are encountered on the battlefield or encountered by deminers, they typically are misidentified as the Soviet TM-41, not identified as Type 41s. There is a note, though, from Russian sappers that they did encounter these in Afghanistan in the 1980s. The way that you can tell that it is a Chinese manufacturer, not Soviet manufacturer, is the fuse. The fuse for this is the Chinese-produced universal fuse. Now, some of the technicals on this. It is 10.5 inches in diameter, 5 3/4 inches in height. Weight is 12 pounds, of which 9 pounds is the explosive filler, and the explosive filler is TNT. There is a separate booster to this. The Soviets used a small glass container of puric acid with about 2 2/3 ounces of puric acid inside it. I do not know if the Chinese used the same booster or if they used something different. You would kind of hope that they did change that out, replaced it with maybe a tetral booster, which would be a lot safer to handle and put into the mine. Now, the universal fuse is a two-piece fuse. You had the fuse itself and a separate blasting cap which has to be installed into it. These mines reported, and my guess is, come two to a crate just like they did with the Soviet mines. Coloring on them, I'm guessing, is going to be probably the same as what it was with the TM-41. It's going to be primarily OD green or gray in color. Now, installation on these, pretty much the same as it is with the TM-41. However, there is changes because of the fuse. So first thing you're going to do, you're inspect the mine. You're going to inspect the fuse. You're going to inspect the booster if it is separate. There's no note on that. You're also going to inspect the blasting cap. With the fuse, there is a note from the JFK Special Warfare School that when inspecting this fuse, first off, do not touch the striker retaining pin on the one side, because if that ever gets pulled out, this fuse will activate. But when you're checking the fuse, you want to check to make sure that you can remove the safety bar, which is on the other side from the striker retaining pin. See if you can slide it in and out just a little bit. If it is under tension, it cannot be removed. It means that the striker has fallen, it has activated, which means you cannot use that fuse. If the striker retaining pin is missing, you cannot use that fuse. Now, you're going to go through, you're going to prep the fuse. What you do on that, you're going to take the blasting cap, insert it into the detonator percussion cap holder, which is at the bottom of the fuse. It's going to be just a little channel in there. You're going to insert the blasting cap into that channel, open end to the fuse. Seat it inside there fully. And then on the side, there is a set screw, a retention screw that you have to tighten up just a little bit to keep that blasting cap inside the fuse. You're then going to take everything to the location where the mine's going to be emplaced. at that location. You're going to dig a hole to the top of the mine. You're going to place the mine inside the hole. You're then going to remove the pressure cap from the center of the pressure plate. You're then going to take your fuse, remove the safety bar, and remove the safety bar only. Do not touch the striker retaining pin on the other side. Lower a booster inside the mine if it's not already in there. And then you're going to lower in the fuse till it sits on top of the booster charge down at the bottom of the fuse well. At that point, make sure that none of this is above the top of the pressure plate. If it is, stuff's not sitting down in there as far as it's supposed to be and you got problems. Go through, figure out what the problem is, take care of it. Everything should fit in here really closely. If the fuse is below the top of the pressure plate, you're then going to replace the pressure cap, camouflage the mine, it's ready to go. Now there is a note that with the universal fuse, a variation was encountered by the U.S. Army in the 1960s, that there was kind of a set collar on the outside of the fuse. No pictures of it, no drawings. And on that set collar, there was a 1 and a 2. The 1 placement on that collar sets that fuse to pressure. If it is set to the 2, that is set to pull, and it's activated with the pull of the striker retaining pin. Now, removal on these mines. First off, you're going to check the area, see if there's any protective mines around this mine, any anti-personnel mines, any booby traps. If you encounter any, take care of them before you move on to the mine. After the area is clear, you're going to locate the mine. It's going to be very easy to do. It is a metal canister. Carefully uncover the top, and then you're going to check the sides and underneath for anti-handling devices. If any are encountered, stop what you're doing, destroy the mine in place. If none are encountered, you're going to remove the pressure cap from the top of the mine. You're then going to reach inside with 2 fingers and pull out the universal fuse. Once the fuse is out of the mine, you're going to insert the safety bar back into its position inside the fuse here, seating it in all the way till it doesn't go in anymore. You're then going to set that fuse to the side, making sure not to disturb the striker retaining pin. But with that safety bar in there, if that does come out, the striker is going to come down and it's going to put pressure on the bar. It should not activate the pressure cap and the blasting cap. Now you're going to put the pressure cap back on top of the mine, remove the mine from the hole. Once it is out of the hole, you're going to remove the pressure cap, turn the mine on its side, put your hand in front of the fuse well and slowly tilt it, maybe shake it a little bit until the booster falls out into your hand. Grasp it, set the booster to the side, set the mine back down, reinstall the pressure cap. At this point, you're going to take the fuse, you're going to loosen the retention screw on the side down here at the bottom, and then you're going to remove the blasting cap from the fuse. Turn in all pieces to the mine dump for disposal or later reuse. That is all the information I have been able to piece together on this mine. And I will tell you right now, you won't even find this listed on a lot of the mines websites that give you lists of different mines that have been created over the years. I found out a lot of this information from the JFK Special Warfare School. I found out the designation from Russian sappers. They had it listed on some of the historical information for the TM41. That gave me the actual name of the mine. Piecing all of it together, here you go. Probably the only place you're ever going to find any information on this, which is going to give you the name, the procedures for putting it in, the safety steps, removal, and so forth. Now, just like with the TM41, if you're attempting removal on this, if you have any troubles removing the fuse from the mine, when you're trying to remove the mine from the ground, stop, destroy the mine in place. If the mine is heavily degraded, it's really tore up, rusted out really bad, it's looking like it's going to be really dangerous to even attempt removal. You find that out when you're checking for anti-handling devices. If it's in bad shape, just destroy it in place. Do not continue with removal. Destroy it where it's at because it's too dangerous. So there you go. All the information I could dig up and piece together on the Chinese Type 41 metallic anti-tank mine. Now, for all my engineer brothers across the Patriot and militia movements, always remember, essayons.